extra, extra. And then there was other turkey or tuna packets. So these were extra, I never even touched. And these I bought
5, 6, 7. So we've got almost 20 ounces here. That's over a pound. Maybe almost, you know, we're getting close to 1.5 pounds. You have a couple more of these, you've got 2 pounds of weight. So, you know, you don't think of ounces as a lot of weight, but pounds is quite a bit of weight. So you carried over a pound.
The whole time I never used
For 160 miles.
For 160 miles, you had an extra pound. So, you know, if you read certain websites, they'll talk about pound per mile. So 160 pounds you carried if you do it by the mile. So that's an extra pound every single mile that you carried, more than, not including some other food that you might have had that you didn't use.
Yeah, well,
obviously you should have food left. You never want to be, you know, starving, running out of food, but you also don't want to have 2-3 pounds.
But this is a towel. This is one of them quick dry, fucking super absorbent towels. Yeah, it's way heavy. This was heavy. This was my towel I carried. But this is the worst fucking towel. This thing, that thing couldn't soak up a drop of water. I didn't use this at all.
Didn't use it at all. Zero pile. All right, it's still loading. Okay, all right.
Zero pile.
Zero pile. Zero pile.
Not at all. I went 3 days and didn't go.
All right, donk.
Not at all.
Zero pile.
Carried this the whole time.
I hate this. I had this exact string. It sucks.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Did I have enough string and rope?
Zero pile.
We brought it because we thought it was going to rain for 3 days.
Right. I bought that because of rain. That's the only reason I had it. The paracord stays with me all the time, but the other two I brought because of rain. First aid kit. Band-aids. It's just a minor first aid kit. Scrapes and burns.
But when you're traveling with a group...
This is a zero pile item that you never get rid of. So you hope to never use it, and that's fine, but you always keep it. 2 GoPro helmet mounts. And I never took my GoPro out.
You never wore a helmet.
Wait a second. Don't take that away yet.
2 GoPro helmet mounts. I didn't wear my helmet or use my GoPro.
You know how much a baggie weighs?
Yeah, a lot less than that. If there's anything in there... I took it out. There might have been some used rubber gloves in there, but they weren't mine. I found them on the trail.
Yeah, you had to help somebody out, huh?
So that's a lot of stuff.
It's a lot of stuff. Go through it, see how much you need, what you need. And, it's okay for the stuff, but all this stuff fits in a baggie. And then this thing and these things aren't necessary. And believe it or not, you have enough little packages like that, you add them up, and sure, they only weigh 3 ounces. But you have 4 of them, 3 ounces, 6 ounces, 12 ounces. Wow, you're getting pretty damn close to a pound.
Full of fresh batteries. I put fresh batteries in everything that I took. And I took 2 headlamps and 2 flashlights that had fresh batteries.
Let me ask you something, Steve. How many times did you have to change batteries and anything while you were on the AT for 6 months?
3 or 4?
3 or 4. We went for 5 days.
I went for 5 days, carried 4 different types of light and enough batteries to change all of them again.
So you should always have spare batteries, that's fine. Because a lot of times you don't check, people don't check the batteries before they go. You go out on your 5-day trip and you find out the batteries are dead.
Well, I changed them all before we went, and I still carried these.
All right, what else we got?
In case my fingers got cold.
How many times did you use them?
Not one.
It was May.
Not one, but 2 shirt sleeves, which I actually use as sweatbands.
On your head?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the Gumby method. You cut it off your shirt, you put it on your head.
What is that?
I stopped while we were there because I forgot my rain gear and I bought a rain jacket. Okay, I bought this.
After it stopped raining.
While we were up there, I wore it for about 10 minutes. And that's not light.
Once you get wet, you're wet.
Once?
Forgetting that I had this in the bottom of my pannier.
Now, what happened to the jacket I gave
Which
you?
is a windbreaker.
The Columbia.
That's home.
And you forgot it. I could have used it.
Any rain jacket can double as a windbreaker.
Yeah. Well,
So-
that's a windbreaker, not a rain jacket.
I always carry a rain jacket and wear it as a windbreaker.
So I had both. This was I used every day because in the morning the chill. I rode in the morning with this on, and at night.
It's a vest, right?
Yeah.
So Annie
it's a
has the
vest.
thing with the vest. She said that the vest keeps her core. She's fine. Like her.
But I also use this at night. I took all my clothes out of my clothes bag. I put them in this and use this as my pillowcase. So this was a warming item, plus it was my pillowcase. This was I used every day because in the morning the chill. I rode in the morning with this on, and at night.
It's a vest, right?
Yeah,
So
it's
Annie
a
has the
vest.
thing with the vest. She said that the vest keeps her core. She's fine. Like her.
But I also use this at night. I took all my clothes out of my clothes bag. I put them in this and use this as my pillowcase. So this was a warming item, plus it was my pillowcase.
That's nice. Perfect.
So that's a
All the time item.
the twice pile.
But I also carry this thing.
Ha!
Did you wear it?
Once, one morning I wore it. And I
Only
could've-
because, but if you had that, you would have been okay. Or
No, I instead of wearing that, I wore that. And I could have gotten away with just that.
Now,
So I
if this
carried
is this warmer than this?
It's got sleeves.
So, this plus your rain jacket equals more than this.
Yes.
zero pile, or maybe this is the maybe pile.
He used it once.
Okay.
So right now we're going by what he used. Whether or not it made sense,
Right.
we're going by
Right.
what he used.
They're all this is clean.
Rain pants.
Insulated. No, they're not
Insulated
even
rain-
rain pants.
Oh,
They're just insulated nylon pants.
okay.
Track pants.
Again, in case I got cold.
Ricky.
Never touched them. They stayed in the bottom of my bag.
Zero pile.
Zero pile.
The rest of the items were my clothing. I came home with 2 t-shirts that I didn't wear, 1 pair of socks, and 1 pair of underwear that I didn't wear. So they were extra.
How many of each did you take?
5 of each.
That's too much for 5 days, right?
What do you do when you're riding? You sweat. What do you do the second day you're riding?
You sweat.
The third day?
You sweat.
So you need to carry clean underwear, clean clothes for each day of sweat, and then carry dirty
Dirty clothes.
clothes.
Because I carried a trash bag that I put my dirty clothes in. By the end of the trip, the entire pannier that was clean clothes was now dirty clothes. Where if I hadn't carried them, I wouldn't have had to worry about it.
Not to mention, have you ever, now I carried at one point a contractor's trash bag. Have you ever weighed one of those?
Yeah, they're not light.
A contractor's trash bag weighs like 14 ounces. That's damn near a pound. A trash bag. So you put a trash bag into your panniers and you go, that's just a trash bag, it's weightless. You carried 4 trash bags. They weren't contractor trash bags.
No, they were little white. They were little trash bags that actually stretch.
The kitchen
carried
ones,
4
yeah.
of them, yes.
Like
Right.
the kitchen ones.
So those probably weren't very heavy.
But I carried them in a bag, but also had other bags in there with them. So it was a pack of bags. It was a bag of bags I carried.
So you carry an extra 5 pounds of just little odds and ends that don't really make sense. One of my biggest pet peeves is stuff like not the kit, the bag. My tarp isn't in a bag. My hammock is in a bag. My tent usually is never in a bag. Not so much because the bag is heavy, but because the bag forms to a certain size. And you put that bag in your pannier, and there's all this wasted space around it, and you can't get to it, and then you need to have a second pannier. And the problem with having a second pannier, or a third, or
If it's
fourth
not
pannier,
full, you'll fill it.
if it's not full, you'll fill it. So, so you take it out of that bag, you stuff it in there, and it fits, and you have enough space that you'll start to try and work at making it work in less space, instead of trying to go, oh, you know what? I've got plenty of space here. Let me bring that hairdryer, Annie.
So what do we got? Recap?
No, we're not done yet.
Oh,
I
what do we got?
carried another tarp. On top of the two I showed you, one tarp, well, was my ground cover. I carried a tarp for my bag. I carried a blue tarp
For
in case it rained, so we would be able to put a tarp up and have a place to sit, so all of us didn't have to sit inside of our tents. So that was brought with the intention of helping everyone in the group, but we didn't need it.
So my tarp that I put over my hammock, sometimes what I'll do is I'll tie the hammock real tight so it goes up to the top of the tarp, and then 6 people can sit under it. So so a place for my bike to hide, a place for me to sleep, and a place for us all to sit if it were raining. So I've used that tarp many a times in the middle of the day during the rain, sit down under lunch, or sit down and eat lunch. So
I carried 4 water bottles, but I drink a lot of water.
That's
and every time we got to camp, I was usually on my last bottle. And
that's perfect. You don't want to run out of water.
I carried 4 water bottles. The other
Like
one
us on the
is-
Batona?
Yeah, that was bad.
The other
Although one
one-
of us had an extra water bottle and somebody else didn't, and then they had to split it.
What else did I carry? I carried my bike helmet. I used it the first day.
I saw you with it on.
The first day I had it on, but then once we were on
But
the
if you're
trail-
touring, if you're road touring, it's a
touring,
must-have.
You have to have it. When there's traffic on the same on the road, yes, you need it. On the bike trail, I didn't wear it at all.
I didn't either.
I'm doing 8 miles an hour.
I never put it on.
I
wore mine the
I
whole
hit
time.
myself harder in the head.
There are some. Well, after if I see Crash without a helmet, she's going down. I'll push her down.
My handlebar bag. That's one thing I really got to start weighing whether it's worth having.
Oh, yeah.
Why? What's in there?
In my handlebar bag, one was the corkscrew that I always carry. Remember we bought in Philly?
Yeah.
I always carry that. I didn't use it, but I always carry it. Other people used it. I carried my extra flashlights and headlamps and all that. I carried charging or cords to charge the various things.
What you need?
I carried my power pack, which I charge my phone every night. And I only needed that to charge my phone so I could sit in my tent and look at Facebook and do that stupid stuff. Did I need it? No, I needed my phone to call my kids. But, if I had just turned the phone off, turned it
All
on
day,
each
just
night,
yep.
called them, said, hey, I could have.
What do you do with your phone? How do you charge up? How do you?
I leave my phone in airplane mode, even when I turn it off. So when I turn it on to take a picture,
It doesn't have to reconnect to the network.
It's never going to try and find cell towers. So I leave it in airplane mode. If I think I'm going to be taking a lot of pictures, I'll just leave it in airplane mode. Otherwise, I'll turn it off. Then I turn it on. It's in airplane mode. I can take it out of airplane mode. So the battery will generally last me a long enough time that I can get to an outlet.
Yeah.
And on this last trip, I did carry my little power brick. Typically, I don't carry it because even when you're out, if you're doing that without and being cautious about how much power I'm using, I can make the thing last 4 or 5 days without a problem. And if I would need to make a call, I make a call, say, hey, I only got X battery. What do you need to know? Okay, bye.
The handlebar bag I'm looking at is I carried the handlebar bag and had those items in it. But the weight of that handlebar bag, they're not light.
No, by themselves they're not light.
They're actually heavy. And if I could take everything I had in there that I really didn't need, I could have probably threw it in a pannier and took that weight off my front end. Because my front end was swirly, with the weight of that handlebar bag plus my tool bag.
I must say though, Gumby, that you have, since the C&O trip, you probably are 3/4 less weight
Oh yeah.
than that trip. That was you were so loaded down. He had like this.
trailer?
Wait, he had a like 65-liter duffel bag on his back in addition to all 4 panniers.
Wait a
So
minute.
coming a
That
long
was
way.
that on the
That was the CNO.
that was on the Schwinn.
Yeah, you had the Schwinn CrossFit. Yeah.
Yeah, I
the
had
crisscross.
4 panniers plus a 60-liter dry bag. A dry duffel bag.
It
So
was
the dry
huge.
duffel bag
It was
actually weighs
huge.
about 4 pounds, and I had that packed.
With clothing is the proper clothing. One of the things I learned at one point was I was wearing a pair of bike shorts that I got at REI, and I wore them on a hike, and it rained. Those shorts didn't dry at all. The next day I put them back on, they were soaking wet heavy. Whereas when I wear the hiking shorts that I have, if it rains an hour later after walking, they're damp, but they're almost dry. So they're not cotton.
Or neoprene.
Yeah, they're whatever they are. They work.
Yeah.
They're breathable still. So having the right gear, as far as underwear, cotton underwear, bad idea. Those, that might be why everybody carries so much stuff. I got some kind of synthetic, I don't even know what the hell it is, polyester or what. I'd have to look at it. But at any point in the trip, did you take all your gear off your bike and ride
Yeah.
a half
Oh my
mile, a
God,
mile?
that was amazing.
Yeah.
It was so comfortable.
You see how well that felt. You get on your bike when it's loaded down with 50 pounds of gear, and, after like 2 minutes, you're like, yeah, I could do this. This isn't so bad. After like an hour, you want to die. So when you feel the bike, when it's got absolutely nothing on it, that's when you want to get close to that. And I don't really sacrifice any comforts. I have a sleeping pad. You saw I had a tent. I had the hammock.
Well, that's why I asked. I didn't see what you had in your hammock when you had it set up. That's why I was asking what bag you carried, because it didn't look like you had anything in there.
I had a
So
40-degree bag.
So that's the one I have is a 45 degree. So it's about that size in there with what you carried.
It's probably about that. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Same thing. And now again, I carry base layers. My base layers, when it's cold out, I can wear them on my bike. I can wear them walking around camp, and I sleep in them. And that, the fact that my bag is only 40 degrees, I kind of make up for that. You don't want to make the mistake of, oh, I've got through these 3 things, I've got enough to keep me warm. But what if it rains? So you always have to have gear to get dry in, because if you're wet when you go to bed at night, you're gonna freeze or you're gonna be miserable. To each their own. Everything's a little bit different. I'm not talking about ultralight biking. I'm talking about
Smart biking.
smart biking. I'm against ultra heavy biking. So
Which is what I had to do.
yeah, exactly.
Everybody thought it was weird that I take a piss bottle in the tent with me.
The piss bottle is huge.
And it keeps you warm in the winter.
It can, yeah. You can pee in it.
Yeah,
Put the cap back on.
People were like, "Oh my God, it's this." What are you talking
No,
about?
that's-
Getting out of your tent in the middle of the night sucks.
That's super smart. In a hammock, though, I don't have that problem.
Yeah.
I unzip my sleeping
Just
bag
roll
down to
over and
here.
piss out.
I unzip the hammock because it's fully enclosed, and I just roll over on my side. The only thing is, you're still really comfortable. You got to be careful not to fall back asleep and roll back on yourself, because that could.
Or when you step out in the morning and figure out you're in the middle of a puddle.
Well, you have to have like an hourly. You can pee all the way up to like 4 a.m. if you're going to be getting up at 6 or 7 to give it a little time to evaporate. So, summarize is people bring way too much food, or they bring the wrong food, or you bring food that is the prepackaged foods that you buy at REI that doesn't really give you what you need and still costs just as much. And you're going to go buy the burger joint, and a burger is going to cost you $5 to $7, which is the same thing for the prepackaged food, dehydrated, that you're going to get at REI. So you might as well just not buy that and eat the burger. The burger will do a lot better for you. Carry a thing of peanut butter. That's huge as far as food goes. Really know your ride as best you can is probably the very best thing you can do. Know the weather that you're going into. If you're going to be coming in, not to say that you shouldn't take rain gear if it's going to be beautiful, because then it's going to rain on you anyway. But you should really know the weather. And multi-purpose. Anything that you have should be able to be used at least twice, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. It should have multiple uses. I have a rain jacket that I can wear as a layer of warmth. I can wear it during the rain. I can wear it as a windbreaker. I use it as a pillow when I sleep. I can sit on it when the ground is wet. So I got 5 uses for one thing. I don't have to carry 5 different things. I personally don't really like stuff sacks. I think they just take up space and they don't fit well into things. If you don't need a stuff sack for your tent, stuff it in a pannier, stuff it in your backpack. It'll fit just as well. You should definitely make sure that your stuff is going to stay dry if it's going to rain. So I'm not saying to sacrifice anything there. And so the other thing, so clothing, food, clothing are the 2 things that people carry way too much of. And clothing, every day you're going to sweat. Every day you're going to get dirty. Why wear a different pair of clothing? You should also have the right clothing. If you have cotton clothing, you're not going to want to put that on the second day. And the morning of the second day, yeah, it sucks for about 5 or 10 minutes when you put that wet or sweaty or stinky gear back on, and then you get on your bike and you don't notice it anymore. You know, maybe the person next to you notices it, but
notices it.
Yeah, they notice it. But if everybody's doing it right, we should all be noticing each other until your 3rd day in and nobody notices anything anymore, and everything just smells like flowers. So, if you're gonna get dirty, wear the same clothes over again, and then just have a second pair of clothes to sleep in.